Well, I just want to say thank you to Jim and the whole convention for inviting me along. I know it might be something a little related to what you guys are looking at, but maybe what I have today for you is a little different than just standard chips and tokens. We deal a lot with the chips and tokens at the board, do a lot of approvals, destructions, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you guys are probably more aware of our rules than I am on that. We have a whole nother unit that handles all that. What Jim asked for me to talk about today was basically what we do at the Gaming Control Board, specifically in the enforcement division. How are we doing here? Is it working? How many people are from out of the state? Wow, that's a lot. No kidding. Who's from here in the state besides Jerry? Okay. So a few. Those folks inside the state, you know there's a difference between the Nevada Gaming Control Board and Gaming Commission. Yes, I like it. Good. A lot of people don't know that. We are a unique agency. We're one of the oldest, obviously, gaming regulators in the world. And we get called by both names. It doesn't offend me if you say that I work for the Nevada Gaming Commission. I work for the Nevada Gaming Control Board, and the Gaming Commission is also there as well. Basically, the way this works, everybody's appointed by the governor on our commission and our board. We have an Attorney General's office, not part of our agency, and a gaming policy committee. Our gaming commission is 5 members. They're part-time members. They only work for us part-time. They've got other jobs, doctors, lawyers, prominent people in the state of Nevada. So they come into the meetings, they get all the materials to read, and they make kind of the decisions. Does it work now? Perfect, thank you. They make all the decisions kind of like a jury would in a trial. Whereas our Gaming Control Board has 3 members. They're full-time members. They work for us, they work for the agency full-time. They're appointed directly by the governor. Okay, I work for the Gaming Control Board. We are the ones that oversee and regulate the entire gaming industry here. If you think about anything within the state of Nevada that involves gaming, it's us. Okay? Surprises a lot of people. And a little side note, lotteries and sweepstakes, illegal here in Nevada. We don't have scratch-off tickets, we don't have Powerball. We draw the line. Okay? We do. Right there. No. We do have charitable lotteries, charitable sweepstakes, nonprofit type stuff, but nothing that's state-run. And I kind of gave away the answer to that one. Why do you think we do not have lotteries and sweepstakes? They're state-run, and the casinos want to keep the money there, not to the state, obviously. We had Gaming First. That's what it's stuck to over the years. They've tried several times in our legislature, which meets every 2 years. We just got finished up with the legislative session. They try often to get rid of the restriction on lotteries and sweepstakes. Never flies. The Gaming Control Board is made up of 6 divisions. I work for the enforcement division there at the bottom. A lot of these are self-explanatory. Obviously, our administration division handles all the day-to-day operations of the board of the agency. Okay, they run the meetings, they hold all the records, they do all the state personnel type training, everything that we need as a state agency to run. Technology division, okay, who's put the money in the slot machines already? Oh, yeah. See, nobody wants to raise their hand, but I see a lot of, yeah, that was me last night. All right, don't lose too much. The technology division are the ones that approve all the slot machines or any of the electronic hardware that goes into those, the software, everything that's associated with those slot machines. Recently, we actually went over to where we use an independent lab system. We used to do all of the approvals, all the testing by just our agents in the technology division. When we were going to go live with online gaming, online poker, we knew that it was going to grow really big. Or at least we anticipated. So they moved it out to independent labs, the GLI, the BMM, those type of labs that work worldwide, testing equipment. They test it, then give it to our technology folks who do the final round of testing on it, and then we can get it approved and put out on the casino floor. Make sure that it's fair, make sure that it's at least paying out to the state minimum, which here in Nevada is only 75%. You can imagine if all those slot machines were set to pay out at 75%, which is what we require, nobody would ever play slot machines because you would lose everything. Okay, down to 75%, it's really bad for the player. I'm sure there may be some jurisdictions around the world that maybe set machines down that low. The casinos know, they set them up. I mean, you see the signs down in the casino, over 100% payback with optimum play. Good luck trying to play optimally on that machine. But they do have the high-end payback machines. Our investigations division, they get confused with us a lot, being in enforcement. They conduct background investigations on the licensees, the Steve Wynns of the world, okay? You come in and you want to start your own casino in Nevada, you've got to apply for a license and pay for all those agents to go to everywhere you've ever had a business contact, a house, neighbors, friends, family, relative, you name it, they talk to them. If your business network worldwide is pretty extensive, it's expensive to get a business license or a gaming license here in Nevada, okay? And they can even go down to your friends, and if they're in the mob, guess what? They're probably going to say no to you depending on the level of contact you have with them. They put us in place to start doing this to get the mob out. You guys have all seen the movies, Casino, the TV show Las Vegas. Well, guess what? I'm always the guy, the weird little guy in the background, portrayed-wise. I've never been in one, thank God. You know, in the background, oh, that's the gaming agent, and everybody's kind of looking at him. There's not a lot of us statewide, okay? It's not a huge agency. We do a lot of work, but it's not a huge agency. Tax and license division, obviously, collect all the taxes. They're the big money bringer for the state, okay? We don't pay state taxes here in Nevada. We only pay federal taxes. The reason we don't pay state taxes is because all of the gambling and the tourist folks come in and they pay for that. Okay, our education system, everything's set through the gaming. Audit division, they obviously make sure that the casinos are keeping their books properly and paying the state properly with what they're supposed to pay them, and making sure that everything is up to snuff. Then you get down to the enforcement division. The enforcement division has 5 offices statewide, Las Vegas obviously being the largest office of the 5. Down in Laughlin, we've got an office with a supervisor and 4 agents. It's enough to cover all the casinos down in Laughlin. The Las Vegas office actually covers the whole southern half of Nevada, except Laughlin. So I can come in on a shift when I was in field services and get a call out to Tonopah, which is 4 hours drive from here. Some of you have probably made that drive if you go out to some of those little casinos up through Beatty and up into Tonopah. I can get a call out there, that's half my shift just driving up there. The same for our folks up in Elko. They're up in the corner of the state. Well, they handle the entire corner of the state. Most of their calls are large drives. Carson has a smaller office. It is the capital, and that's where the main buildings are for us. And then Reno is obviously our second largest in the state for amount of employees that we have for enforcement. You can see we have Carl Benison spoke last year. I think he was at the banquet last year, was the speaker. He's my direct boss. I've been with the board for 16 years, going on 16 years now. Before that, I had just gone to law school, realized I did not want to be a lawyer. Wanted to go on the law enforcement side instead. Very good choice for me. Very good choice for my family. Okay, had an amazing time out here. I work for Carl. I'm also the training coordinator for the state for all of our enforcement agents. So I make sure that all of our enforcement agents, which we're armed, we carry guns, handcuffs, everything, you name it, because we enforce all the criminal laws out there. I make sure that they have all their proper statewide training during the year. Getting to some numbers, not to bore you, but you can see as of last year, the number of casino licensees we have out there. Restricted locations merely mean that they have 15 or less slot machines. If you open up a mom and pop grocery store right now and you want to put slot machines, they're only going to allow you 7. But we have some that are grandfathered in at 15. Okay? Every single 7-Eleven, grocery store, Albertsons, Vons, Smith's, whatever happens to be your grocery store brand, every single grocery store, 7-Eleven, corner market, and bar have slot machines. Every single one. You go into a grocery store in the middle of summer, you go to leave, and you see the lady standing there with the cart of groceries in the bags, and she's inside playing in the little slot alcove, and her ice cream's dripping on the cart. Well, I'll just take the extra $5 I didn't spend on groceries and go play the machines. It happens. You see it all the time. Non-restricted. Again, those are going to be the big ones down on the strip, the big casinos that can have the table games, can have sports books, all that kind of stuff. Slot route operators, Generally, the 7-Eleven doesn't want to own their own slot machines and take the liability, so they have a company that comes in and actually owns the slot machines and handles all of it for them. They just do a space lease, basically, to them. That's how they make their money. I talked to a guy in not a great part of town, owned a 7-Eleven, and he said that all of his income was from the slot machines, nothing from all the products. The products just brought everybody in. Probably location for him, and it just, that demographic played a lot. So that's where he made his money. If they took out the slot machines, he wouldn't be in business. All right. Everybody usually likes this slide because they find their favorite game on there and they realize how much the loss is. You see up there where it says win hold percentages? Yeah, that's win hold for the casino. It's how much money they're keeping from you. These aren't theoretical wins. This is what was reported as of the whole of 2014. It's all on our public website for the hold for the different games. See the best game on there? Bingo! It's the one game that always gave me a headache. By the way, Gaming Control Board employees not allowed to gamble. I haven't gambled in 16 years, nor do I ever plan to when I retire. After you see all the stuff that we see on a day-to-day basis, you realize, not going to happen. Not going to happen. My money stays in my pocket. Jim asked if I was married. No, yeah. What kind of gambling? So you can see where they're at. Now, the theoretical holds on a lot of those games aren't that high. But then you got to remember, you add in the player thought and superstition level, and they start making bets that maybe they shouldn't make on a game. You know, you can play craps, and if you play a certain way, you can get that hold way, way down. But then you start playing the hard 4 and the hard 8 and the C&Es and all that fun stuff that gets the whole table yelling. Guess what? 13.69%. By the way, if anybody has any questions as I'm going through these, oh, Jerry, I shouldn't have opened it up.
Baccarat, mini baccarat. Why is there such a difference between the two?
No idea.
Game, isn't it?
What it could be is literally because this is just by the year, it could be one player came in during the year and nailed the state for nailed a lot of casinos for a lot of money, and it changed the hold, or lost a lot of money and changed the hold. A lot of the big baccarat tables in town are at the high limit rooms. You don't find the big baccarat on the normal casino floors. So those are the guys that are playing $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 a hand. I watched a guy out here lose $1 million in 5 minutes.
What?
$1 million. And he was playing like I would probably play dollars if I could play dollars. Okay? Walked out of the room. Question? Yes?
In the previous slide, not that one, the previous slide, the one that showed the licenses. I remember my parents coming in the 50s, and while they're pumping gas, you would play the slot machine and put down the gas. My mom would say that she went to the bathroom, and while she was sitting on the toilet, she put a quarter and a nickel in.
Yep. The comment was about back in the 50s, when your parents came out here, that they could go to the gas station and play slots in between the pumps on the gas station and in the bathrooms and all that. Obviously, we don't have that as much anymore. Okay, they really, with the 21 and older that you have to be, they're out in restricted areas. Obviously, it's open to the public, but they don't want kids being able to wander up and play those games. Question?
Yes, in Nevada, what is the definition of a casino?
In Nevada, what's the definition of a casino? Well, I don't know that we have like a specific definition. I would have to look.
You know, like a 7-Eleven got 7 machines or whatever. Is it a casino?
It's not a casino. Well, it has a restricted casino license. We only look at the licenses. So there might be a building where the Bellagio is. They have a non-restricted license to be able to run gaming in that building.
So what makes it a casino? What's the definition?
I don't know that we have one specifically, but I would have to look. Question?
On the slot operators there, if they go into a bar and they're running the slot machine, does that person that owns the bar have to be licensed? Or is it
The question is on the slot route operators maybe going into a bar, does the bar have to be licensed? They have to be okayed by us, yes, to have a non-restricted license. So they do, and then the slot route company has the license, the big license to have the machines and everything.
Real big investigation, just like.
Not as big for those guys as it is for the Steve Wynns of the world, obviously. They still go back into your and look at all your stuff, but they're not going in as deep as they would for a non-restricted license.
What would be a license fee for that?
I don't know. You'd have to contact our investigations division. And again, it's going to depend on how extensive your business history is. The costs can range from anything. Because you're literally paying for all the agents' salaries and time and everything to go out and investigate you. You pay us to do it. No, thank you. Enforcement cases. We don't just handle all the glitzy criminal cases that you see on the Discovery Channel, the Travel Channel, where we're jumping on guys at the blackjack table, knocking over the table. Have I done that? Yes. Often, absolutely not. Most of our job, in fact, is not that kind of criminal work. If you think about us, we are undercover all the time. We don't have a uniform. This is as dressed up as I get. Presentations, court, and hearings. This is the only time you see me in a suit. I'm allergic to the tie, you know. Most of the time, I look like Jim here.
Oh my God.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
Unbelievable.
But because I look like Jim when I'm walking around the casinos when I'm on duty, guess what? I look like every single other tourist out there. I've got the Tommy Bahamas. I match. I'm in. What we do, we not only do the criminal work out in the casinos. You can see 24% of our cases that were initiated were on criminal calls. That doesn't mean that we made arrests on all those. That just means 24% of our cases. 19% were on regulatory cases. Maybe the casino self-reported something. Maybe a patron called to complain about something at the casino, more of a regulatory nature. Or maybe we were walking through the casino and saw something that didn't match our regulations. We do that constantly on a daily basis. We go through and look for our regulations being upheld in the casino, whether it be a sign in the sports book or signs on the ATMs or the license being posted or the employees being properly registered through us. We go do that every day. We do dice inspections, card inspections. We go into the surveillance room, make sure they're watching what they should watch. Okay? We do that a lot. We pull 19% of our cases as regulatory cases. Arbitration, fancy word for I get to settle the argument. Jerry here, I know, loves to play, right? He gets on that slot machine that he always plays and he always does really well on. And he hits the 3 sevens. Yes, and all of a sudden one of the sevens drops off. Now this is all according to him, of course, because I'm not standing right next to him when he's playing it. He knows he hit the 3 sevens. Casino walks over and goes, no, you hit 2 sevens and a blank. Sorry, you don't get the $500. You don't get the $1,000. You don't get the $3.8 million. He calls us. We come out, we do a full inspection of the slot machine. We look and see what the play history is on it. We do all the internal checks on it. If I need to, I can get my lab out there to check it. I get statements from him. I get statements from the casino. I'm merely an arbitrator. I don't work for the casino. I don't really care whether or not he gets his money. I care that what he gets is fair. If he's deserving of money, I'm going to pay him. Or I'm not going to pay him. I'm going to tell the casino they have to pay him. The worst part on our arbitrations is we go out, you're all on vacation. I've got 45 days to do my investigation. Nobody likes to hear that. They want their money now, right? Well, we tell them, I have 45 days. I'm sorry. You'll get a letter from me in the mail. As well, the casino will get the same letter. Both sides have the option to appeal, and there's a whole appeal process. It goes before our hearing examiner, goes up to our gaming control board. They can determine dispute hearings. It doesn't happen on every single one, but it happens on every now and then. Go up from there. That's one of the few cases that doesn't go up to our commission. It actually goes to district court. You can actually take us, or not us, excuse me, the casino to district court about a $5 win on a slot machine. Question, Jerry.
All right, say I won that 3 sevens. What happens to that machine? Do they lock it up and wait till you investigate, or do they actually keep using it later?
The question is whether or not the casino will lock up the slot machine and wait for me to get out there, or will they let it keep playing? Depends on the dispute. If you're there and you're adamant that you want it and they know that you want to fight this and they say, well, we're going to call gaming because it's $1,000, they're going to leave it out of service until we get there. and we're going to look at it. Now, rarely do I need to actually seal up the machine to send out my lab. Those are always on the cases where I'm looking at the slot machine, I have no idea what happened with it, but something happened with it bad. The slot tech working for the casino looks at it and they have no idea what happened with it because there's something going on. I get my lab out there that hooks up their computers. They tell me what happened. Rarely do we have to do that. Usually I can get all the information I need to get right off the slot machine. Check surveillance, get all the statements, I send them a letter. That's the arbitrations. And I've literally had arbitrations for 35 cents that I've had to award payment on because the casino refused to pay and the player was right. I've had megabucks disputes where some lady thought she hit megabucks and with one coin in. Sorry. I'm sorry. She was very nice, but she didn't hit it. Okay? We come in and we make that decision.
Who pays for that?
It's out of the state budget.
If they break a machine, like break the glass, will Game be called?
No, usually that'll be Metro if you don't want to pay for the machine because you've now a vandal. And they can charge you with vandalism on that machine, breaking private property, stuff like that. They don't call us for that. Yeah. We kind of have an overlapping jurisdiction with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Yes, we handle all the crimes out in the casinos. We handle all the thefts. I want to look at my time. We handle all the thefts. Let's say employees, dealers, cage people that steal money. We'll handle that because we've licensed them. We've registered them to work in the casino. Generally, they'll call us. Metro can handle those too. They're theft cases. Whereas you get to the level of the armed robberies that you've seen on the news where the guy comes in with the AK-47 and jumps behind the cage, we're going to defer that to Metro. They've got the manpower and the resources and the CSI guys to be able to handle that. We don't have that kind of investigation team. But we work closely with them because we're given unique ability here in the state of Nevada, just upon presentation of our badge, we can get anything we want in the casino. No subpoena, no nothing, no court order. We can walk in, grab any paperwork that we want to. The whole purpose behind that is to keep the bad influence out of the gaming industry. That they can't hide something from us. We can go anywhere we want, we can get anything we want. Does that give some of us a big head? Sometimes. However, the casinos know they have to give us everything. And we get really nice cooperation through most, if not all, the casinos. The last section you see down there, 29%. Backgrounds, again, I've spoken about that. The people that work in the casinos that need to be registered through us. The dealers, the security guards, the surveillance operators, the cage, the slot people, everybody needs to get registered through us. They get their fingerprints run. If they've been arrested, we then open up a case to determine, or if they've had anything in their past, we open up a case to determine whether or not we should object to their registration. Again, I've talked about we are Category 1 peace officers, state of Nevada. We have to go through a full, it's either 16 or clear up to 22-week police academy for this job. After that, we have a Protecting the Gaming Academy that I teach at. It's mainly for our new agents to be able to train them up before they go out into the field and start our field training program, but to teach them how to play, deal, and cheat every single casino game, clear down to Pai-Gow tiles. Anybody know how to play Pai-Gow tiles in the room? I can teach you. I know how to deal it. Okay? It's really simple. I'll teach you in about half an hour. Okay? I'm not saying you're going to win, but I can teach you at least how to play. We do every single game, and we want our agents to be experts in that. Also, we invite other law enforcement jurisdictions and regulators from all over the world to this to attend to see how we teach our own agents. Jim. We have several units. I'm going to try to move through a couple of this stuff. I do have some videos at the back end, so I'm trying to get to those. Enforcement division units, field services, there are 24-hour, 7-day-a-week guys. Okay? We have squads that are on that respond anytime, day or night, to the casinos because this is a 24-hour town. Okay? Operations, that unit is the one that has the chips and token folks that approve for destructions, approve the new designs on chips, everything, okay? I know this will make some of you jealous, and I'm sorry, but we do have, and I don't know how far back into history, but we have every single chip that was approved. Okay, now we've only got the one copy of it, but I've never seen the entire collection. It's probably just in a couple file cabinets. You know, it's nothing on display or anything like that, but yes, we do. You know, even down to the $10 million, the $5 million, the $1 million London Club chips or checks, you know, they were about that big. Beautiful. I don't know if anybody ever used them on a table game or not, but they were there. Employee registration, they're all the ones that do the background checks and everything for the employees that work in the casinos. Intelligence analyst, I worked there for 5 years before I got my current position. They work with the federal folks on the terrorism side. We watch gaming trends that go countrywide. We'll watch a group of cheaters start in New York and head across the country and be heading towards us, so we'll be letting our agents know that they're coming. Then we start arresting them when they hit here because we know they're coming. Special investigations, these are the folks, again, they can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but instead of just a case that might take a week to investigate, these guys do the cases that take 2 years. You know, the online Bitcoin guy, right, that's in the news. The big bookmakers that work with New York and they do the big operations out here. These are the guys that handle all that. They're very undercover, very super secret type stuff. And then backgrounds, again, that works in part with our employee registration unit to do background investigations. Our website, very easy to find if you just Google it. We have our list of excluded persons. Everybody heard of the Black Book? Yes? You realize it's nowhere officially ever been called the Black Book? It's the list of excluded persons from its institution. The only reason they called it the Black Book, the first several generations of it had a black cover. When we were still producing books, they had silver covers when I started 16 years ago. Okay, now it's all online. There's only, I think, 33 or 34 people on this right now. We have to show that that person is a threat to our industry, major threat to the industry. Not just a one-time cheater, major threat. It takes a lot of work to get somebody put into this Black Book, and it's even more difficult to get off the Black Book. You have to die or petition to get off, but nobody's ever been able to do that. And I'll even say that this guy on the top left, Michael Balsamo, we really believe he's dead. He was reported dead in Argentina several years ago. We cannot get a certified copy of the the death certificate, so therefore he stays on the list. Jim Cruz is not on the list.
A couple Kansas City guys on there, though.
There are. And a lot of times people will confuse the casino's trespass list with this Black Book list. The casinos are private property here in the state of Nevada. They can ask anybody to leave at any time for any reason. Now, if they start asking all the females to get out, yeah, guess who? The feds are going to have a problem with that, and then we're going to have a problem because they broke federal law by discriminating. Okay? But in terms of just getting trespassed, they might not like your mustache. Jerry, you don't have a mustache. You're okay. You're safe. Bar.
What did he do?
Oh, Balsamo was a slot cheat. He used slot devices, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Great. I need to pay you better. All right, I'm going to go through a couple little cheating ways. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, every single cheating crime in the state of Nevada is a felony. You could be sitting on the blackjack table, get a 20, add $5 to your bet after you get your 20. That's a fraud act right there. Felony. Handcuffs, go to jail. And lose. And we can still take you to jail. You do not have to profit from cheating in the state of Nevada to go to jail. Shocks some people. They think, well, can't you just give me a ticket? Nope. It's a felony. I cannot write you a misdemeanor ticket for a felony. We take you to jail. And you can lose and still go to jail. The way slot machines work, I'm going to go over a couple of these ways to cheat over the next few slides. Everybody still good? Good? Okay. You know, I've hit my half an hour. You know, Jim told me half an hour to get out. All right, I'm good. All right, good. The way slot machines work, and these are the old slot machines with coins. Okay, so we do still have some coin-operated slot machines in the state of Nevada. Rural Nevada has a few. Downtown Vegas has a few. You know, it's the old school. You know, the new management comes in and goes, hey, we want old school slot machines. Well, now you're going to get old school cheating because they can still cheat them. Okay? The way a slot machine works, it actually spits out coins from the hopper, and there's a little bar that goes across. And every time a coin goes by, the bar goes up and down. Every time the bar goes up and down, it takes a credit off your credit meter. It's that simple. So somebody figured out they use a kickstand or a monkey's paw you might have heard of before. They're two kind of slightly different devices. One will hold up the bar or one will pull down the bar so it can't move or it gets it up out of the way. It won't count the coins going by. Okay? So the manufacturers go, well, if they're cheating that way, let's take out the bar and just put a light beam across. You can't move a light beam. Light optic devices, you put a flashlight bulb at the end of it, light it up, it blinds the whole thing. You ever stick a flashlight right in your eye? Can't see a thing, can you? Can't see the coins going by. Build a better mousetrap, build a better mouse. Okay? Slugs. You guys come across a lot of those in your dealings where they're actual fake tokens? Possession of 2 or more slugs that are for casinos here in Nevada is proof of a felony. Whether or not you're in the casino. It's proof of intention to cheat if you have 2 or more. No, I didn't see anybody run out. That's pretty good. That's good. That's good. Slugs, purely made from lead. They take Bondo, put it in something round, stick a real token down in there, take another piece, pour their hot molten lead that they get from the tire places or the BBs, pour it in, make their own slug, pop them out, and go put them in the machines. And you think, why would the machine take the slugs? You find the older machines that the optics aren't working quite right and it needs to be cleaned, and they would start feeding them in there. Once the casino figures out they're getting hit with slugs, they fix the coin acceptor so it won't take them. Again, felony, it's cheating. You walk in with these slugs, I got you with possession, burglary, use, and if you're with somebody that's blocking for you so that the casino cameras can't see what you're doing, I get you with conspiracy too. That's 4 felonies. Not a good thing to get into out here. Going to go over a couple simple card type things. Bending and crimping, I'm going to show you. Marking and daubing, purely adding or scratching the back of a card so you can tell what it is and nobody else can. Okay? Felony. Even if you're not the one using the information on it, you're marking it. I'm going to look for the guy that's using it, that's making all the money, and figure out that he's using your marks. I'm going to try to put you two together. I'll take you both to jail. Okay? Not as prevalent anymore. When I first started, we had card markers. We had guys that cheated slot machines. Obviously, we had a lot more coins. It's not as prevalent anymore. Once the economy tanked, we really saw a move to just straight thefts. People decided they could just walk up to the table, reach across and steal a bunch of chips and run out. The motorcycle bandit. I'm sure you probably saw him on the news. He was wearing the motorcycle helmet, went to the Bellagio, pulled out a gun, took a bunch of chips off the craps table. Problem was he took like $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 type chips. You know how hard it is for him to cash those in? Bad, okay, very difficult. Because they immediately know who has all of their chips. I can go down to Wynn Casino right now and I can pretty much guarantee they'll tell me how many $1,000 chips are out of their casino right now, and they can probably account for a vast majority of them, if not all of them. They know the players that have those chips, or should have those chips. You get in the 5, the 10,000 or higher, they absolutely know where those chips are. I had a group came in years ago down near the Strip, used fake passports out of Asia, got fake markers, or fake credit, I guess you could say, put on $40,000 in cash at the cage, and then went to the table and proceeded to walk away with like $200,000 worth of chips with markers and everything like that. The problem was it was all $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 level chips. So the casino just discontinued them all. They put in the release, like you're I'm sure all familiar with, 20 days, right? Gone. Well, they called me up a couple years later. We never found these guys. They boogied out of the country. They had no chips show up that ever tried to get cashed in. And anybody that had those chips, they just contacted and they brought them in and cashed them in because they knew they had them. So they called me up a couple years later and they didn't know what to do. Well, yeah, but we're missing $200,000. I said, no, you're not. You're missing $200,000 worth of clay chips. How much is that really? Okay, I said, you have $40,000 in cash sitting in your inventory that has been now abandoned. You tell me what you want to do. Never mind. Sanding edge work, that's just another way to mark cards. They will literally scratch on that card. That's why if you're playing blackjack and you put both hands on the cards, what's the dealer do? Jim, keep both hands off it, just one hand. You pull out your phone to make a call at the table, what do they tell you to do? sir, you need to step away from the table. Okay? It's because somebody's done something previously that they're now trying to protect against. And that's what we need them to do. Bending, crimping. It takes us a while sometimes to find how these cards are marked. It's not this obvious. This one we actually had to set up with the light to get the picture of it. See the corners? The one on the bottom, right in the middle? It's anything to give information to the player, not known by everybody else. Okay? Blackjack, you're going to mark up the 10s. Baccarat, you want to mark up the 7s, 8s, and 9s. Just what's the advantage to the player? That one took about an hour to set up the photo on to show. But that's golden in court, because all those were 10s. And when no other card in the deck even looks like that, and then you see the guy on the table and he grabs the cards, and every time he has the 10, he pushes real hard and flips it and pushes it. You're done. Loaded dice. Everybody, I think this is everybody's, ooh, right? Really neat. You know how many cases I've ever heard about in loaded dice in the state of Nevada? 0. Has it ever happened? I'm sure it has. Back in the day when they actually used dice like in your Yahtzee game where you couldn't see through them, I'm sure it happened quite a bit. Why do you think we have the clear dice that you can see through? There it is. On the right side here, the white pips. See how thick those are compared to the top ones? Those are loads put in that. It makes it heavier. Does that mean you're going to win? Nope. It just makes it a little bit more likely that certain numbers are going to come up. That's all. There have been volumes written on the effect of marked cards on a game, the effect of loaded dice. Statistically, it's really not all that great. It's much easier just to steal stuff. The bottom die is actually shaped. It's curved. It's kind of hard to see. It's curved on the top, convex. Convex. It just makes it roll off that side a little bit more. We go out and do dice inspections. We look for this kind of stuff. Think the casino's going to allow that to get in on the game? No, they got serial numbers on the dice. They check the dice before they put them on the table. After a shift, if it's busy, they might even replace them more often than not. They'll put new dice out on there. Okay? We go out and make sure that they're complying. A couple videos. I'll explain these as we go. This is old, 1998. Stuff doesn't change though. I can't show you any of our current, like today stuff, because it's still in the court systems. But honestly, because of the knockback and cheating that we've seen, this stuff's golden, what we have. And this is how we teach our agents. It's kind of funny. Watch the dealer. Tell me he's not a nervous Nelly when this game starts. Number one, he's not clapping and clearing. He keeps reaching into his rack. He does it near the end. Right here in the middle, there's 2 stacks of black chips, which are the $100 chips. See how high this one on the left side is that I'm on? See how high that is compared to the other one? I'll show you something here in a second. He can't even deal straight. He's so nervous. Oh, he threw a chip onto the floor. This is when he's going to do it. He calls the guy over. Watch that stack of black chips right here. You'd think he'd take 1 or 2? Nah. Into the pocket. That's probably 10 to 15 chips at least. Do that once a shift every day that you work.
Wow.
Okay? Everybody see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen it worse. I've seen them go to their mouth with the chips. I've seen dealers that are skilled enough to drop it into an open shoe on the ground. They just slide their foot out. We took one guy off to the detention room. He had like 25 chips in one shoe and 35 in another. His feet were smaller than mine, and his shoe size was like 5 times too big. It's brilliant. It's good stuff. I arrested this lady at a casino, off strip. On some blackjack games, there's a bonus bet. It's going to start here in a second. On a blackjack game, they can have bonus bets. So on the first 2 cards that you get, let's say they're both diamonds, you might get paid something on a bonus bet. Maybe they're a 10 and jack of diamonds, and it's, or a king and queen of diamonds, and it's a royal match, you get paid more. The bonus bet area is right here in this circle that I've got highlighted right there. This is her when the dealer starts to go over to the side. How hard is that to see that that token went up on the bonus bet? She does it 2 more times. She's going to put it right back on. She's got a winning bonus. And she'll do it once more. When I got to the casino, she was throwing up in the detention room. She was so drunk. Dealer didn't see it. The floorman caught it. I got into there, and I thought, great, because we have regulations in the state of Nevada that you're not allowed to let gamble or serve alcohol to anybody who's visibly intoxicated. She's now throwing up in the detention room.
You said the dealer didn't know anything about it?
Dealer didn't know. So I'm thinking I've got maybe two cases going here because maybe the casino served her too much alcohol and let her gamble while she was drunk. So I go up and I see the video. Sure enough, she's doing it. So I'm thinking, you know what? If she is completely out of it when I get down there, I'm going to be looking at a violation against the casino more so than arresting her. So I get into the room and I read her rights. And she says that she'll talk with me, which is good for me. I said, do you know why I'm here? And she goes, yeah, because I was cheating. How were you cheating? Well, I'd put up a bonus $1 every time I got one that would win. All right, you're going to jail. I skimmed through probably an hour of her being there at the casino up in surveillance. Just fast forward, she never had a drink. We watched her come in from the outside, she never had a drink. We're guessing she probably had a couple drinks before she got there, and then when she got detained, she got so nervous she got sick. You never assume before you actually get there.
How much did she win?
Not much.
So it wasn't.
I think maybe a total of $100 extra.
All these things are caught by the casino, right?
Yes. Yep. We can catch stuff live. It's very rare. I had a buddy that retired. He worked for DEA as well. He always wanted to catch something go on live and do it right there. We used to scour the city looking for something live. No, most of the time it's caught by the casino. We're just called in to do the cleanup at the back end.
Did you talk to that dealer afterwards and say, you're kind of sleeping here?
No, it happens all the time. The person on first base there, right when they're doing it, I'm sure the casino talked to the dealer. It's not my job. Human resources is not my job. I let the casino do it. All right, what we have here, two guys that supposedly don't know each other, obviously do. The guy in the black's playing with $25 chips. It's roulette, so they're non-denomination chips. He's bought in at $25. The guy in the yellow is going to play with his own chips. Doesn't matter. The guy in the yellow is going to pass post on the number that lands when they do this. Very weak dealer. Wasn't very good. They had scoped him out. He's now gone under the table with a stack of chips. The yellow shirt guy could have just reached over and grabbed them. Nobody would have noticed, but they're real sly. Problem is, yellow shirt guy is right-handed. He's got to get those chips into his right hand. This is slick. Wow. He's now going to start making bets to now a new dealer because they flipped out on shift. Really good, strong dealer who catches this. He starts making a lot of bets on the side of the table for the dealer to place up at the head of the table. Standard protocol in roulette. He can't reach the top end of the table. He has the dealer do it. That ball's getting ready to fall. She's getting ready to wave off. He now slams it down. And right there, it's very difficult to see. I'll play it probably one more time here if I can. Look right here. Look right here. There's no chips stacked. Don't blink. Stack of about 17 or 18 chips. You guys are probably better at that than I am, right? All right, 35 to 1 per chip, $25 a chip. Let's call it 18 chips. How much we talking? What's that, like 14 grand? I'm really bad with math. That's why I went into law enforcement. Okay, did you see that?
She pushed back.
She caught it. The guy in the black shirt's not even at the table. That way he can say, I wasn't at the table when that bet went down. And what they hope is she's going to kick back just the yellow shirt guy's colored chips and leave the stack there. They caught it. The other guy shows back up. He's a nervous Nelly. He's got a couple stacks of chips here. He had like 5 stacks of $25 denomination chips in front of him. He wanted those chips back. They're calling security. The guy in the yellow shirt boogied out of the casino fast. Upon review, they both got away. The guy cashed out and he got away before they figured out he was involved. They figured out, although he didn't get it this night, they'd done it the previous night. We never caught these guys. So whenever I do a class, I'm always looking around too. Nobody got up and left, so we're okay. The last one's card switching. This is an older one. Caribbean stud, anybody familiar with? You get 5 cards. You play against the dealer, 5 cards. Okay, there's a bonus bet on that. If you get a royal flush, 10, jack, queen, king, ace, all of the same suit, and you made your bonus bet, they had progressives $150,000, $200,000. Okay, we had a group of guys come into town. We knew they came into town. We followed them to their hotel. We followed them to the casino. These 3 guys on the end are in on it. He's going to give a signal to a player down at this end that they've got their royal flush. That was like steal second, right? Watch right here in front of them, because the person at the bottom is going to distract the dealer. Don't blink. Watch how the camera moves though now. Now look, the other 2 guys fold. He comes in. You'd think if you got the royal flush, you'd be screaming already. No, he waits a little bit. He plays it smooth. Now he's excited. We were all over the casino. We were up in surveillance. We had these guys. And the dealer qualified, so he's going to get even more. How long did that take? About half a second to switch out the cards. Take all 3 of them plus the person on the end that distracted the dealer, because we proved they knew each other. Okay? That's our website, gaming.nv.gov. Our mailing address here in Las Vegas, and our 24-hour-a-day phone number. Okay? I teach a lot of law enforcement groups, a lot of academies, a lot of conferences for law enforcement, regulators, gaming regulators, anything like that. Call us, we'll find out an answer for you. For you guys, it's probably going to be most likely our operations unit folks that you need to talk to with questions about chips and tokens. I'm not the expert in it. I've never spent time in our operations unit. I do know a little bit. I know that I've dealt with them on disputes where the cabbie finds the $1,000 chip in the back of his cab, or gets tipped it, finds it, goes in, tries to cash it in. What does the casino do? Thank you very much for bringing back our chip. Have a nice day. They sometimes will call us, the cabbie. We'll say, did you win at gambling? No. Have you ever played there? No. Thanks for bringing back their chip. Okay, those chips belong to the casino. They're evidence of a debt owed to the player that won them. That's it. You can't pay off somebody. It's all the anti-money laundering stuff. I was sitting here last night trying to think, what questions am I going to get? How many people find chips in estate sales and stuff, right? Well, if they're still good, guess what? Technically, they probably won't cash them. Now, if they're $1 and $5 chips, they probably will. They don't care. $5,000 chips, you got to go through the estate. The estate's got to try to get those paid back. Okay, and we have ways to do that. It's not like you're out, but it's going to be the estate, not the buyer. Yep.
Okay, maybe I missed it. So
Do this so I don't have to repeat.
So the cabbie, if he was given this chip as a tip, isn't that
It's a souvenir to him. Only the person that won it can go cash it in. Period. Go ahead.
Can you comment on 3 stories? One being the first time that surveillance was used at the frontier by the Smith Corporation, and they thought they had somebody cheating it with just some people coming in.
No knowledge of it, so sorry. No knowledge of the what, Frontier, some side of surveillance. Nope, that was before my time.
Okay. How about the coming into the Stardust and closing it down? Just like the movie, all those things that happen?
Oh, all the movie stuff that happened. Question about the Stardust and whether or not coming in and closing it down and everything. Again, that's all closed before my time, so don't know anything about that.
How about the chocolate chips that happened in the horseshoe when Stupid tried to cash it in?
And then Stupak trying to cash in chocolate chips, so I assume $10,000 chips? Were they $5,000 chips? $5,000 chocolate chips at the Horseshoe, have no idea. Not familiar with any of those stories. And the thing is, they might not have even come to our level. I don't know. I mean, if it was just a civil thing going back and forth, they might not have even called us.
How about closing down the horseshoe?
Like he came and walked out.
Yeah, I was in there. That's about all. I was in there. It was. You know what's very eerie? What was very eerie, and this is about any casino that I've been into when it closes, because we are usually involved when a casino shuts down. We make sure that players are leaving. We make sure that the employees aren't stealing on their way out, and so we really try to protect both interests. It's very eerie walking through a casino that you're used to walking through with all the bells and whistles going off, and it's dead silent and all the lights are off. Very eerie to walk through a casino.
Yeah, I seem to remember some time ago, somebody underage won a megabucks, and he said his father pulled the handle, but he really did. And
Yep.
I never whatever happened.
The question is about the megabucks jackpot that was hit by somebody underage, and he said his father pulled the handle. That would definitely be something that we would get involved in. Number one, it's a crime for a minor to play a game, and they're not entitled to any jackpots because that would be proceeds of a crime. And if he tried to say that, and this is all generic, it was before my time again, but we would cite him and the dad. The jackpot obviously would not go to him. Question?
Could you comment on the use of UV and RFID chips?
The question is a comment about UV or RFID. I do know that there is UV printing put on some chips. I know that we have had some counterfeit cases where they've attempted to do that, but we've been able to figure out their counterfeit via other means. RFID, I know some casinos do use it, meant generally for their high-end chips. Not really anything that we get involved in. It's mainly for their inventory and how they want to keep track of stuff. They still have to get it approved through us, but if you want to spend extra money and put an RFID chip in a chip, I guess that's right.
So it's not for theft, it's for...
It can be for theft. You know, if you haven't been to the G2E, the Global Gaming Expo, please go. They hold it every fall out here at the Sands Expo. It's all the big gaming conference. I've seen stuff where when those were coming out where they had chip racks for cages where they push a button and it totals the chip rack in about half a second. So you don't have to worry about the cage employee going in, taking one chip from the back end and nobody ever seeing it for 3 months. Okay, it totals it. You could throw a whole stack of chips onto a poker table and it immediately totals it. You could put a stack of chips on the roulette table and it knows how many chips are on each individual spot. It's just expensive technology that, you know what, so far the cameras do as good. Obviously the RFID will do better because it's exact, but the cameras do a really good job and it's cost benefit for the casinos. We're not going to require it. If they choose to go to it, we'll use it. Question?
How often do you get cases with gamblers counterfeiting chips?
The question is how many times we get cases with gamblers counterfeiting chips. Not often. It does happen. We've had some cases over the years where all of a sudden, you know, they figure out that a $100 chip is counterfeited, and the guy says, "Well, I just got it off your table," and they go to the table and figure out that half the chips on there are counterfeited, and they're all over the casino because they got hit that hard. We've had other ones where it's one chip that they've tried to change into it. You know, some guy goes down to the general supply store, buys a chip, and puts a fake sticker on it. Well, those are pretty obvious. But it does happen. It's not often. Not often at all for us.
What casino is the one that typical vendors?
They've just anywhere in Nevada. Can't comment on that. Jerry?
One question.
Casino that's presently open, which one gives you the hardest?
The question is, of all the casinos open, who gives us the hardest time? And we do well with all the casinos. We do well with all the casinos. We really do. It's a good working relationship.
There is one, isn't there?
Not that I ever have problems with, but I've been out of the field for years, so I'm really not an expert on that. Good try. Let me go in the back.
Yeah, you see a lot about plaques in the high roll rooms nowadays in Vegas, plaques instead of the chips.
The question is about the plaques instead of the chips, the square, rectangular type things. Yes, there are some, not very many at all. But I'm talking, you're talking $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 level chips or plaques.
Right on what casinos handle?
I know Wynn does. I'm not positive on any others.
Is it something that you would get involved in if there was allegations of marking cards in a tournament like the World Series, or is that between the players and the casino?
We would get involved. The question is, do we get involved on allegations of card marking in a tournament such as the World Series? Absolutely, we would get involved. Tournaments like that are still part of our purview, especially the World Series. We're all over the World Series. I've been up there watching the final table up in the crowd before. So yeah, I've been on ESPN. Come on now. Come on now. I know there was one in the back. No?
We're in a casino, we see you walking around in plain clothes, can we go up and say hi?
You can say hi to me all you want if you see me walking around the casino, absolutely. Now granted, I don't do field operations anymore, field services, so I'm not out there doing that kind of thing. I've moved on. If you see me walking around the casino, I might be on lunch. Hang on, let me do one more.
Thank you. All the material that you show is taken by the casino. So the casino is the first group of people that analyzes the situation, and they got the guys and they call you, and then you come as authority to apprehend these people, right? So what's the process?
The question is on the process of the casino will film on surveillance and analyze it and watch something happen and then call us, and then we go out, we reanalyze, we do the detective work, so to speak. Absolutely, that's the case. We can see stuff live. If we're walking through a casino and I see cheating going on, I can take action right then. Normally, my first move is going to be to my phone. I'm going to call that surveillance room because I've got the numbers for all the surveillance rooms when I was working, and I'm going to say, hey, get on blackjack game number 30 and start watching this guy. I think I just saw something. Because I want good evidence as an investigator. So absolutely. Most of the time, though, they call us and we respond.
You said that there was a group of people that you knew that were coming. So did you collaborate with the casinos to watch the guys all together, or how did that?
The question is, for the group that we knew were coming into town, did we collaborate with the casino? Absolutely. We followed them. I've been on surveillances before where we follow him from his house to a casino. As I'm pulling into the casino, following him and jumping out while the driver tries to find a spot for the car, or we ditch it in valet, I'm on the phone to surveillance going, here's who I am, here's the guy I'm following, get a camera on him, here's what he looks like, here's everything. Now, the only time we would not do that is if we thought the casino was involved. Then we want to keep it just on our end. But generally, if the casino's involved, it's floor people. Surveillance is completely separate. So I'm going to call surveillance and get cameras on that.
Casino catches a player cheating. He wants to leave, cashing all his chips. And they say, walk out without your chips, go out and call gaming enforcement?
Question is, if the casino's going to detain somebody and he wants to leave and just cash out his chips, can the casino say, walk out without your chip? Generally, if the casino's detaining you, they're detaining you, that's it. They have the right to detain somebody to notify law enforcement, us, or Metro, or whoever, to come down there. It's not a bargaining system that I've ever heard of going on in the casinos where you can leave if you leave all your chips now. That's old school.
Don't the cameras on all the games, aren't they on all the time?
Question is whether the cameras on all the games are on all the time. We require, if a game's being played, to have camera coverage on it, on the table games. Slots, it's the slot area. Dedicated slot coverage, and this is all within our regulations for our surveillance standards. Basically, Megabucks, the Wheel of Fortunes, those have dedicated cameras. The rest of the slots out on the floor don't have dedicated cameras on them.
So when you say put your cameras on, in other words, you're just bringing to their attention that you think something's going on. They already have the cameras on.
Well, yeah, there are cameras going all over the place. In fact, I'm surprised if there aren't. Yep, there's my dome, okay? They've got cameras all over these properties. Now, some of these are going to be controlled by gaming surveillance, and some are going to be controlled by their security surveillance. Depends on how they set it up. But I know that surveillance, the gaming surveillance, can pipe into anything. And if we're walking in the valet, I'm telling them, hey, listen, it's a guy, he's got a white beard, orange shirt, blue pants. I need you to get on him, and you're going to see it, and keep an eye. And I'm talking on the phone as I'm walking in, so we'll find him.
And how long are those kept?
Depends on the type of coverage it is. Casino coverage is required to be kept 7 days. Detention rooms that are audio video are 30 days. Casinos now mostly have gone to digital, and they keep stuff a lot longer. A lot longer now. But per our regulations, what they're required to keep. And then if we tell them to hold an incident, they're going to keep that forever. Especially nowadays with the digital. All right? One more.
Okay. Has there been cases where you found that the casino is actually cheating the players, and what do you do in that situation?
Question is whether or not we've had cases where the casino is actually cheating the players and what we do. I teach at that gaming academy. There are several moves in that gaming academy. I'm also a magician. I do magic. That's how I got into this stuff. I know how to do sleight of hand, card tricks, you name it, I'm into it. We do a lot of moves in that gaming academy to show how you can cheat, how dealers can short pay patrons, how anybody can do all sorts of stuff on that table. That's why we don't allow dealers and people into that class, okay? I used to always say, when I did one move where I would shortchange the player 2 chips on a payout, looks perfectly legitimate. And I come out and I pay you, and you're gonna be 2 chips short, and you're not even gonna notice it, except you're gonna be 2 chips short, and you have no idea how, because I'm gonna steal from you, okay? I used to tell everybody, there's no reason for a dealer to do that. They're not making any more money if the house makes money. In fact, if they're stealing from you, they're not going to even get as many tips that they have to split up 24 hours casino dealer-wide, right? So I would say there would be no reason for a dealer to do that against a player. Several years ago, we had a dealer down on the strip. She's dealing. One of the players gets up and goes and tells the foreman, hey, something's going on. It seems like this dealer, she's looking at the cards and not dealing the right cards, and she's doing something funny. Okay, he calls surveillance. He starts watching. Turns out she's dealing seconds off the game. She's peeking at the cards, making the players lose. They detained her. We got out there. We interviewed her. Said, what were you doing? She goes, well, I was dealing seconds and was checking the card and making the players lose. Why? They were rude. Click, click. Okay, go to jail. It happens. I guarantee the guy that reported it to the foreman probably got a nice buffet.
You didn't answer my question.
How do you mean?
Is there cases that casinos are using shaved dice intentionally?
No. The question is, are casinos using shaved dice or anything to cheat the customers? No. They make good money legally. There's no reason for them to risk their license and do that. Because if we ever found out, it'd be gone. And we are in there quite a bit. Now, does that mean it's never happened? I'm not going to say that. I have no idea. But they make a lot of money the legal way. There's no reason for them to do that because then they risk their entire operation. Because if we found a major casino operation doing that, they'd be gone. And that's a lot of money.
I think there's historically some smaller clubs in northern Nevada that have been closed for violation.
Historically, smaller clubs in northern Nevada being closed, that may very well be. And I'm talking current day. You know, back in the day, yeah, that's what the mob was all about. They're cheating everybody, right? No, I'm talking current day. You're not going to find that kind of stuff out. That's why we're here. Hopefully we're keeping it safe.
Were you around for
Jolly
Jolly Trolley?
Trolley, I am not familiar with. Hey man, bringing up all this old school stuff. Only 16 years I've been here. 1999.
You don't read any reports, you don't read the history of, what happened in your own state?
No comment. I told you I went to law school, right? Good. I think that's it. Thank you so much.